Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 20 of Civilization 5 as Russia. Things are going quite well. We've just managed to get the Hubble Space Telescope. We are finishing off this museum here. It's a little bit pointless now, but we might as well get it done. I guess I could redo some of the tile assignments here now because we don't necessarily need to rush the production quite as much. I would like to get people back working the research labs and things like the public school again. We're probably working a few tiles that were very much geared towards high production. Let's go ahead and put you in the public school. Still 3 turns to get the museum. I am considering actually moving some people into the Writers Guild. See if we can get a great writer a little more quickly. Still 70 something turns. What if we were to put 2 in the slots? Let me just take you out of there. Put you in the great writer slot. 41 turns we could get a great writer. It's probably, I don't know, it might be worth it actually. We might get 1 more and that might make the difference actually at the end. So, you know, if we do get down to 1 spaceship part left, that great writer might be the difference between getting our level 3 ideological tenant that might then let us use our great engineer that we're going to get in a couple of turns to finish a spaceship part. You want to buy horses? That's brilliant. Let's carry on with that. And that wasn't even the 4 horses, that was 4 more horses. So you might actually be willing to buy more. We'll see. We'll check that out actually. Because being able to build spaceship factories do cost aluminium, which is a little bit of a problem. But yeah, 1,430 gold. We might have to buy some more aluminium from someone. Would you like more horses? Because I have loads of them. It's about one of the only things the game has given me. No, you won't give me any more. He was just willing to do the other one because it was a historic deal. Yeah, we do need to pop you, actually. Moscow has grown. You are working that tile. And do we want something with a little bit more production? I guess so. We're not really too bothered about growth at the moment. 31 turns, we might get 1 more population out of this city. Cargo ship, you were going... Where were you going? You were going to Groningen for 17 gold per turn. Well, you're now making 22. So that is much better. 13 turns we'll have the cockpit. Let's go ahead and pop this guy now. So robotics is almost done. 3 turns we'll be able to start getting spaceship factories. And in 3 turns, I'll have just about enough... No, I won't quite have enough gold, actually, to build the spaceship factory. I was sure the Hubble Space Telescope gave you a free spaceship factory. Do we have one here? Hubble Space Telescope. 2 free great scientists. Provides a free spaceship factory in the city which it is built. And plus 25% production when building spaceship parts. So, we should see a spaceship factory here somewhere. Spaceship factory free. Yep, fine. So we're going to get some massive output here. Automatic faith purchase. 83 turns until we get another great engineer, so that's not going to happen. So let's make sure we've got that guy. Well, we can't do anything on this turn. We just want to put him to sleep. Cargo ship, you can carry on going to Tarsus. We need to keep getting money so we can build spaceship factory in Githyonia. You guys have finished that lumber mill, which is fine. You can go ahead and work over there. Guess that is okay for now. I guess we could give up 1 production and gain an extra food. I really would love to be able to sell these horses to somebody. What about Persia? I don't suppose you're interested in them at all. Oh, he does actually still value them. 2 gold per turn? I'd sooner sell them for flat gold. No, you won't. Will you give me 1 gold per turn? No, you won't even give me 1 gold per turn. If only Spain were willing to buy them. No, that's unfortunate. If I could have sold them, then I could have actually got the gold that I needed to buy the spaceship factory as soon as we finished robotics. I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Isabella has completed the Manhattan project. That's not one that we're too bothered about. Constantinople has now been captured by Spain. You're willing to do a straight swap. We'll keep that going. I could have sold it for gold, but it doesn't really matter. Constantinople, Byzantium are now down to a single city, which is potentially bad because we have a research agreement with her that expires in 42 turns, and she might get wiped out before that research agreement ever pops. So that's a little bit annoying, because you lose that money, you never get it back. So that's something that we don't particularly like. Horses to Isabella ended. Ah, now then. Is she willing to renew that deal? Probably not, but we'll try it anyway. No, she's pretty much done with horses now. That's a real shame. So we've finished the museum here in Moscow. A broadcast tower wouldn't be a bad idea. We do need recycling centres actually though, because we do need to get some aluminium. So let's start work on a recycling centre here. And we want to put you to sleep because we're not doing anything with you until we really need to. So even though we're about to unlock the spaceship factory, that is not going to instantly give us the ability to start work on the next spaceship part. We've still got a tech or two to go before we can get that. William has completed the Sydney Opera House. That's not too much of a problem as far as I'm concerned. Thought I saw some borders move down there on the minimap. I'm not too sure what I saw happen. We have discovered robotics. Okay, so now we're working on advanced ballistics. So it's going to be 19 turns before we can start working on the boosters. Go ahead and get another lumber mill over there. Now the camera's doing its thing. So we don't really need to rush the... Well, I can build the spaceship factory in another 2 turns. We should have enough to build the spaceship factory in Githyonia, which will knock a little bit of production off the cockpit, but not a huge amount. Would be nice if I could get something like a broadcast tower in Moscow, though, because that would increase the culture. And getting those social policies more quickly will actually benefit us quite a bit. Wilsonia has finished its broadcast tower, which is fine. We should definitely get a spaceship factory going here, but I think in the meantime we'll get the recycling centre, then the spaceship factory. I mean, we need aluminium to build a recycling centre anyway. And then we'll have spaceship factories in all 3 of our cities, because we'll probably be using all 3 of them to build spaceship parts, depending on how things work out. So we're down to a single aluminium. I wonder if the spaceship factory that we have, the free one, is using it. 1 for the cockpit, 1 for the hydroplant, 1 for the spaceship factory. Yeah, so it is actually costing us an aluminium. That's fine. I know we are still buying some from Persia, but we can always re-up that deal if it ends, hopefully. But this is why we need to get recycling centres, so we've got some aluminium of our own. Githyonia, 8 turns remaining. We should be able to buy a spaceship factory. Let's go ahead and do that. 8 turns goes down to 6. Brilliant, that'll be finished nice and quickly. Another farm for you guys then, I suppose. Now, are you working the farm tower? Yes, you are. Brilliant. You are going to grow in 5 turns. Even though Githyonia doesn't have a huge amount of production output, increasing the population does increase our science output, so that is not a bad thing at all. Still 25 happiness. We're actually only 11 turns away from another golden age, so we'll have a little bit more production going then, for a little bit of time at least. Not an awful lot going on in the world at the moment. Constantinople are still, well, Byzantium I should say, are still hanging on by a thread. So that is a good thing. Again, not an awful lot we can do, so let's just go straight on to the next turn and not mess around any longer than we need to. So much science now from all of these academies. It's absolutely fantastic. They're giving us, I think it's 12 science per turn, and that's not counting any bonuses they get from things like the National College, so that's really good. We've got submarines here attacking these Polynesian workers. There's an ironclad. Now, who do they belong to? Who are you at war with? Persia. Yeah, Persian ironclads. And there's a submarine there as well. I hope Persia aren't coming for me. He seems friendly, and he's got enough stuff going on at the moment. Maybe he's just coming over here to attack Polynesia. I do have a battleship in there. Wilsonia should be able to protect itself. I mean, he's not really going to do an awful lot with 3 ironclads and a submarine. But I think getting another battleship or 2 when we get the opportunity is not a bad idea. This caravan was going to Amsterdam for gold. We could still do with gold. Let's carry on with that. And when this recycling... Well, we might just end up buying a ship I think he's just down here to attack Polynesia. At least I'm hoping that's what he is doing. Submarine just took some damage from that frigate because he was right next to it. And that is quite a lot of ironclads, and they don't seem to be coming directly down to this city here. He's just completed the Manhattan Project. No, it looks like he is going in to attack Polynesia. That's fine, as long as he leaves me alone. I mean, we do have some negative modifiers, but I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Ah, Kuala Lumpur. How... Hang on a minute. How have we... Oh, it must have been liberated. I was about to say, how come we've only just met this city-state? So, it must have... Right, okay, so what it looks like happened is somebody took this, because everything down here was Spanish. So, it looks like somebody took this, and then Spain took it back and liberated it. Which is why it's Spain is their ally. Because, yeah, we hadn't met them before, but we've already got satellites, so we'd uncovered the whole map. So it must have been a city that was owned by somebody and has been liberated. And as you can't liberate your own cities, and as Spain is still the ally, it must have been somebody took it from Spain, and then Spain took it back and liberated it. Interesting that they'd not just keep it for themselves. There's Indonesia declaring war on Polynesia. 3 turns away from completing the cockpit. Now, we will be assembling the ship here in Githyonia, because as far as I'm aware, the assembly has to take place wherever the Manhattan Project was completed. I could be wrong about that. But I thought that that's how it worked. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can just do it in the capital. We can upgrade these Gatling guns to machine guns. We probably should. Costs a lot of money to do that. Got a cargo ship here. You can carry on to Tarsus. Maybe we should get them upgraded. If anything, it just makes our army a little bit, our sort of military number a little bit higher. You know, which is good. Because then we don't look quite as weak, although the AI might still attack us. The only one that can really pose a threat to us at the moment is William, and I don't think he's going to attack. We've been friends throughout the game. We've got a declaration of friendship. We've got a research agreement. He's got bigger fish to fry, quite frankly, so I think we're going to be okay. I'm absolutely amazed that none of the AI seems to have been spying on me. I haven't caught anybody spying at all. Which is really, really weird. I mean, especially now I'm the tech leader. I know I've got a defensive spy in there, but it just hasn't happened, really. Can upgrade the machine gun to a bazooka. Well, let's go ahead and do that then. Unit needs orders is the cargo ship that was going with production to Wilsonia. We'll keep going down there with that production. Especially as we might want to start making a few ships down there. Githyonia has grown, and you are working... Go for that tile again, because that's going to be a farm at some point. On to the next turn. Still, Githyonia is growing really, really quickly. It's actually our biggest population city right now. It's bigger than Moscow. Although most of it is food tiles, it doesn't really have any production. Which is going to be its downfall. Not making nearly as much money as I was, and excuse the ice cream truck outside again. Netherlands is still nice and friendly. So how are we doing? Losing grasp on Lhasa, not bothered about any of the city-states at this point in the game. They mean nothing to me. Still allied with Yerevan, though. Yerevan are giving me a little bit of extra culture, which is nice. Wilsonia has grown. And you are working that production tile. Which is not a terrible thing. Yeah, growth is going to be slow here, so I guess we might as well just carry on. We have finished the cockpit. We could probably work on a recycling centre here, so let's go ahead and do that. We're probably not going to need as much aluminium now then. We can... That must be in the capital city. Okay, so it's not where the Manhattan Project is built. It has to be in the capital. I think we need to move the engineer out so we can move the cockpit into the city. And add to the spaceship. There we go. So that is one part done. We'll just put you back on Sleepy Sleepy. Of course, what I could do, if I wanted to potentially waste that great engineer, we could go and build a manufactory over near Githyonia and get some extra production, but I really don't think we need to. There is some money from Spain. That is quite nice. Now then, don't really need to build or to buy anything right now. So I think we might just save that money up. And we're going to hard build the spaceship factory before we need to start working on the SS booster. So you're working on the recycling centre. You've already got your spaceship factory. It's going to take a little while for Wilsonia to get there. It might just about manage it. We'll see what happens. I don't really want to have to buy another spaceship factory though. I think we'll be okay. So Moscow has finished the recycling centre. That is fantastic. Let's go ahead and work on that broadcast tower. I do want to get the broadcast tower because I want to get the additional culture. That may give us an opportunity to get another social policy or two. Well, not two. Two's very unlikely, but it should give us the opportunity to get a social policy by the end of the game. Looks like Polynesia are at war with the Netherlands now as well, so Kaisel's actually giving them a bit of a kicking. So Raiatea might actually fall in this war. And of course, if the city-state takes it, the city-state will just keep it because they can't raise it. No, I still don't want to get a research agreement with the Netherlands. I don't want him catching up. I know I've already completed the Manhattan project on one of the spaceship parts, and I've already got a spaceship factory, and you know we're doing well as far as the science victory goes. But as a deity level AI, he has so much AI. That's so much AI. He has so much production. And given the fact he's got so many cities, he could probably overtake me if he tried hard enough, and I don't like the idea of that. Obviously we've dropped into another era now, because it's now going to take 102 turns to actually get our great engineers. That's probably not going to happen anytime soon. 27 turns we will get a great writer. Unit is needing orders. You guys have finished the lumber mill, have you? I guess you go over there and build another one, I suppose. I'll just carry on. We've still got a few minutes left, so we'll certainly see if we can work towards getting advanced ballistics finished. And then we've got 3 more parts we can work on. Hopefully, by the time we've completed advanced ballistics, we should have... all 3 of our cities should have a free build queue, and they should all have a spaceship factory, which means we'll be able to build all 3 of the boosters at the same time. So that should be quite nice. And then we'll only have 2 parts left, and then it'll be done. It is possible we might get beaten. I hope not. I don't think so. Yeah, go on then. Another lumber mill. So we're about to finish our first recycling centre. Raiatea is still attacking Kaisel. Well, I say it's Kaisel doing the attacking. Raiatea is defending here. Sure, they had a lot more units than that. I'm not too sure why they didn't move in. I mean, Raiatea is a terrible city. It's only got 2 population. So they could really easily damage it. Also, what happened to Persia's ironclads that were down there? They're still at war with Persia. So why didn't those ironclads finish them off? Yeah, they're not... Persia aren't at war with anybody else down here, so... Unless all of those ironclads got wiped out. I mean, the AI is pretty bad at naval combat. Declaration of Friendship has expired with Polynesia. I guess we don't really need it. But if we can get it... Yeah, he's happy to accept. Assign delegates. Historical landmarks, which we don't really want. Luxury silver. Do we get happiness from silver? No, we don't, so we don't care about that one really either. So we'll commit the delegates there. Units needing orders. You have finished the farm. Wonderful. Again, not an awful lot else up here that you can do. I suppose we could probably build a mine there. I'm not too sure about a trading post. Not sure that that's going to be useful. 1 turn away from getting ourselves the Golden Age. So that should speed up the production of all of our buildings here. So we might even be able to finish that spaceship factory and the broadcast tower by the time we finish the research on advanced ballistics. Netherlands aren't very happy that I made friends with Polynesia. They do have quite a few units over here on my borders. I was going to say one of them is a Lancer. Lancers only upgrade to, I think it's tanks, really. Historical landmarks passes, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and make sure that we keep upgrading these units where we can. Don't think there's many more that we need to do. We'll go straight on to the next turn. So, okay. 3 turns we'll finish the recycling centre. 6 turns we will finish the broadcast tower. And 6 turns we'll finish the spaceship factory. So we should time that pretty much perfectly. We've got... I was buying wine from you. Let's keep that going. We'll keep the happiness up. It'll work towards the next golden age. I think Spain just lost one of their cities there. But I didn't quite get to read it properly before all of the stuff started popping up. Still got a decent amount of gold in the bank. Saving that great engineer. I'm not sure that we're going to have anywhere near enough time to get a level 3 tenant before we get to that final spaceship part. We'll have to see how that goes. Upgrade you to a bazooka. You are going to build... Just put a straight up mine on there, I think. Looks like the Netherlands are actually sending in some of their units now towards Riotia, but there is an artillery in there, so that is going to slow them down considerably. Incense for cotton, yeah, we'll keep that going. At least we've actually got some aluminium now with the recycling centres. Of course, oh, Spain actually managed to capture one of Theodora's cities. So Theodora now has a single city left. That's not good. It also means we've got Spain down here on the borders as well. So our little island is starting to be encroached upon. Iron to Darius ended. That's fine. Doesn't look like he wants any more. Spain look like they're still willing to get some. But I think we'll just hang on to it. I don't think we necessarily need the money right now. And we'll do one more turn because it is the end of the week. And it'd be nice to sort of get somewhere before we finish up. Not too sure we've got enough time to go through all 4 turns. Actually, that's not true. We've had videos go as long as half an hour before, so we'll get through these next few turns as quickly as we can, assuming that nothing too exciting is going to happen, and then we'll get all 4 of our SS boosters queued up. William has completed the CN tower. He might become a little bit of a cultural problem, but I think we'll be okay. Yerevan desires the firewall. Well, I've not really got time to start working on that. Githionia has finished the recycling centre. So what could we build in a few turns? We could start working on a hotel, I suppose. Let's go and do that. Let's work on a hotel. Now, obviously, that is going to be still under construction when we finished Advanced Ballistics, but that's not too much of a problem. Spaceship parts should build quicker in Moscow than anywhere else because not only does it have a spaceship factory, but it also has that extra 25% from the Hubble Space Telescope. But the timing of this should be almost perfect, assuming nothing unexpected happens. And we can adopt a policy. So, because we need 1, 2, 3... Well, we need... After this one, yeah, we need one... We've got this one. So we need 1, 2, 3 more tenants to unlock a level 3. But we're going to get a level 2 here. Specialists produce half the normal amount of unhappiness and golden ages are 50% longer. That's actually probably the most useful at the moment. Oh, landmarks and great person improvements produce +4 of the appropriate yield. That'll work on our academy. So currently we're making 780 science. We'll go ahead and click that. We're now making 846 science. So if we go ahead now, let's just select a worker, and we look at these things. We're now getting 16 science from each academy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 academies. And that's just 16 base science. That's not counting the extra science that's coming in from the multiplication bonuses from the National College and stuff like that. So that was a really, really good one to take. The other good level 2 one would have probably been the one that reduces the amount of unhappiness. No. Sorry, not giving you that. Reducing the amount of unhappiness and increasing the length of golden ages would have been really useful. I'm not too sure if I'm using that coal for anything. Probably the factories, yeah. I don't think you actually need it. I think once the factories are built, you can just not bother with the coal. But for a few gold per turn, I've got no problem with keeping that deal going. So that is fine. Advanced ballistics will be done on the next turn, so let's go ahead and click next turn. And we'll get 2 of the rocket boosters in production. And it's actually only going to be 19 turns until we get that next social policy. That's a lot quicker than I was expecting. And actually in 19 turns we'll get a great writer, so we might be able to get 2 relatively close together. So it is possibility. We might just be able to finish the final spaceship part with a great engineer. So we'll see how that works. We have now discovered advanced ballistics. So let's go ahead and make sure that you are working on one of the SS boosters, 21 turns. Githyonia is still working on the hotel. You've just finished the broadcast tower, so you're working on the other SS booster, 19 turns. Githyonia has grown, and again you've gone to work that sea tile. You're going to go quite quickly, so let's start putting a few people into factories. And that might speed a few things up there. And we'll go for one more turn, just so we can start that final SS booster, and then I know where I am when I come back for the next round of videos. Well, Rioteer is holding its own. I mean, yeah, it is nestled in behind a couple of forests, but I'm really surprised there. It's just like some aircraft moving. It was Spanish. There must be a carrier somewhere off the east coast here. Yeah, there's a carrier there. It's just rebased some fighters down here, or bombers possibly. I didn't actually see what they were. Rioteer is losing some health, so there may be some ships down here that we can't see. Something is definitely happening. Decent amount of gold in the bank right now, which I quite like. And there we go, we can now work on the final SS booster. So that's not too bad. We're going to have 4 of the 6 parts done in 20 turns or less, which is quite nice. Just got a couple more orders we need to issue. You were sending production to Githyonia. I'd prefer you sent the production to Wilsonia, because then we can shave a turn off that maybe. Down to 19 turns, there we go. So 19 turns, we will have the 3 boosters and the cockpit. And all we need then is the engine and the stasis chamber, and we are done. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization 5 as Russia. I'll see you guys on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.